Hi, I'm going to talk about how to set up your company. What today's talk is mainly about how to set up a company in UK rather than internationally, but the rest of the world usually have got similar sort of structure and requirements for setting a company. Probably UK has got the simplest one, so uh, probably you need to have a lot more documentations and things like individuals involved when you're setting companies in other parts of the world. In UK is a lot simpler. Now we're not going to talk about every type of company. There is a lot of support on the course itself, so you can look at it. Now to set up what I would suggest as import-export traders, a small company, what you do, you set a private limited company. So that's what you're going to type of company you want to set is a private limited company. Is limited is responsibility by share values, so you decide how many shares you want. Let's say 100 shares at £1 each is £100 shares. So now a limited company must be registered, incorporated with a company house. Company house is an organization in UK, in London, covering England and Wales probably. You can register your company with a company house in England if you are in England. To do that, you need a company's name. Obviously, you have to have a name and a registered address. Now, the address has to be a physical address, cannot be a PO box. So it can be usually your own accommodation, your home as well, if there is no restriction by your landlord, if you have a landlord. The company's name, the company house's website would allow you to do a search to make sure the name is unique. So once it's unique, it will accept it. So the whole thing can be done online, by the way, or you can ask an accountant to do it for you, but you can do it yourself online. It costs very little to do it. So you need to find a name which is acceptable, which, as I said, you do a search and you will find out the name is not used by somebody else. You're going to be careful that not to use a name which is too similar with a very famous name, even if you are allowed to register, because if you are doing that, you are doing something illegal. If you are in the same business and you just using a name very similar to somebody to just take their business or imitate them, that is illegal. It's called passing off trade. So choose a name, proper name, a name which is suitable for your product, for your brand. You need a registered address. You need one director at least, and you need at least one shareholder. They can be the same if you want to. The shareholders can be anywhere in the world. They don't need to be in UK. The director has to be somebody with permission to work in UK. You have to check these rules. They do change time to time, so have a look at them. Details of your shares known as the Memorandum of Association. So that's one document you have to get, which is talk about your shares and shareholders. Then the rules about how the company is run, known as Article of Association. Now in the past you needed to have these two documents as well to set up your company. Let's go forward. Article of Association is when you register your company, you must have article association. These are the rules of about running the company that shareholders and officers, being director or secretary, have to agree. The rules can be anything as long as is within the law. You cannot have the rules of how to run the company which is against the law. When you're setting your company, if you're using online services of company house, it will say that you want to have a standard one, which you say yes, and you just have a two-line standard article association. So that means just whatever is the law that you will follow. Memorandum of Association is basically a statement that subscribes wishes to form a company under the Act, 2006 Act, which the members of the company agree to do that. So it's a very simple document. Again, that is generated by the system itself if you don't have one. So really all you need to do, go on in a company house and say I want to register a company, come up with a name, you need an address, you need your name of shareholders and the name of at least one director. and the rest it will recommend it itself, unless you have got a very specific items you want to put in your memorandum of association or in your article of association. If you have got certain shareholders which you want to put some rules and regulation in it. Otherwise, the company is registered, a certificate of registration would be issued, you would have the now a certificate of corporation, you got the registered number, you got the registered address and a shareholder. Now you can go and open a bank account, and really that's all you need. You're ready to go. If your company doesn't have a lot of in and outs, it's very simple. You can just keep your records of purchases and sales and any expenses, keep the invoices together, put everything through your account, and at the end of the quarter sit down and do a simple bookkeeping. You need an accountant to sort it out for you. Now, within the 3 months of starting your business, you must tell Her Majesty's Revenue and Custom, HMRC, the information about the company, the date you have started the business. Now, you may register the company but not start any trading for months. So as soon as you are going to start trading, you're going to buy or sell something, or transactions start happening, that's when you're starting your business. And then you have to tell the HMRC, I have started my business on 1st of September 2013, for example. You got to give your company name and registered address, the main address where the business is happening, which might be different from a registered address, what kind of business you are doing. You say, look, I'm in education, I'm in import-export, I'm in food stuff, I'm in rag trade, whatever is your business, general sort of definition of business. The date you will make your annual accounts up to, that means which cannot be more than 12 months after you're starting your business. So if I'm starting in September and it makes sense to my business to have my annual, sort of accounts done in September, I would say September 2000, for example, 14. If I want to keep it to normal accounting dates, I can say, end of March every year. So you choose a date that makes sense to have, and that would be the date that you do your accounts. That's the end of your year date, and that's it. This is the end of this program. It's not difficult to start your business and set up your company in UK anyway. If you are doing business in any other country, you have to go and find the rules and regulation in your country. But usually there is an equivalent to company house in every country. So the best place to go is to their company house and get the rules and regulation. There is always a very similar setup of what we call a limited company, and that's probably the best to use. Best of luck, and see you. Bye.